Looking for the best motherboard for the Intel Core i5-13600KF? The 13600KF is ideal for budget gaming rigs right now, thanks to recent price drops of nearly $100. The chip offers a 6P plus 8E core configuration with up to 5.10 GHz boost and a 125-watt base TDP, which is decent for any AAA gaming titles and productivity workloads these days. In this video, I'll break down my top 3 motherboard picks for the i5-13600KF. Each one offers a great mix of features, reliability, and value for money. First, we have a budget-friendly option that delivers excellent performance without breaking the bank. Next, we look at a premium choice that offers top-tier features and exceptional performance. And finally, my top pick combines outstanding performance, a rich feature set, and great value. Price information and all the motherboards mentioned in the video are available in the description. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. So let's get started. Number 3. MSI Mag B660M Mortar Wi-Fi DDR4. Best budget motherboard for Intel Core i5-13600KF. The MSI Mag B660M Mortar is arguably the best B660 motherboard out there in terms of overall value. It's like a smaller brother to the B660 Tomahawk. However, while it does cut some corners here and there, it's still a great motherboard that will be quite good to pair for an Intel Core i5-13600KF. Of course, this is a micro ATX motherboard, so there'll be some compromises here and there. However, if you can get by with just 2 M2 slots, don't need multiple fan headers, and need something more compact, then this is the board to get. The cherry on top is that you save a lot of money in the process. While the B660M Mortar is affordable, that doesn't mean it looks cheap. The Mortar series has always had an interesting design language, and the same is true here for the B660 version. Thanks to the metallic silver finish on the heatsinks, the motherboard gives off a minimalist and industrial look. This is a board that can fit well into an all-white theme. All of the heatsinks complement each other beautifully, and even the rear panel cover goes along with the theme. Branding is minimal, with just an MSI logo on the rear cover, and Mortar branding on the chipset heatsink. As for storage, this micro ATX motherboard is equipped with 2 M2 slots and 6 SATA ports. It would have been nice to see another M2 slot here, but the form factor didn't allow for that. Apart from that, there are 4 fan headers, which is a considerably lower number compared to other high-end ATX B660 motherboards. Still, that might not be a big issue if you already have a fan controller. Apart from that, there are no real compromises with this motherboard. You're getting a robust 14-phase VRM configuration, and 12 of those phases are dedicated to the V-core. It's good to see that nearly all B660 motherboards are decent in terms of power delivery, and this one lives up to the standard. Memory overclocking is also quite good compared to other micro ATX motherboards. It can handle 128 gigs of DDR4 memory with a maximum speed of up to 4800 MHz. Even though Intel processors work fine enough with lower frequency memory compared to Ryzen, this sort of performance is nice to see on a micro ATX board. Finally, this motherboard is not lacking in terms of connectivity either. You're getting 2.5 gigabits per second Ethernet, Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.2, and plenty of USB ports. Overall, the B660M Mortar compares well against the competition. The ASUS Prime B660MA is a close competitor, but the Mortar has a better build quality. In fact, it comes close to the quality of the B660 Tomahawk. The only difference is that this one is micro ATX. Either way, it's hands down the best budget B660 motherboard for the i5-13600KF. Ratings: VRM design, 8 out of 10. Aesthetics, 8 out of 10. Connectivity, 8 out of 10. Value for money, 8 out of 10, for an overall rating of 8 out of 10. Number 2, Gigabyte Z790 Aorus Pro X, best premium motherboard for Intel Core i5 13600KF. Premium motherboards don't make sense for everyone, but the Z790 Aorus Pro X will definitely entice a lot of you. This board has beefy VRMs, plenty of RGB, all the ports and connectivity options you could need, and a bunch of extra features. All the bells and whistles don't come cheap, but it's an excellent board for those who want a high-end experience from their Intel rigs. Starting with the design, the Z790 Aorus Pro X is an all-white motherboard with a grayish PCB, along with a loud RGB Aorus badging on the rear panel, coupled with a silver matte VRM heatsink exhibiting the Aorus Design Lab logo. The board looks extremely well designed because of the gigantic M2 slots cover that works as a heatsink and showcases Gigabyte's famous eagle logo for the Aorus series motherboards. Continuing with the white-silver theme, Gigabyte has implemented stainless steel shielding for the PCIe, RAM, and M2 slots, reinforcing them while enhancing the motherboard's overall aesthetic appeal. However, a postcode debugging display is missing here. Furthermore, the motherboard boasts a unique feature that Gigabyte calls the Easy Latch design. This design enables users to install the heatsink of the M2 slot without needing a screw. A similar implementation can be seen on the PCIe slots, featuring an easy detachment mechanism for the graphics cards as well. On top of that, the Z790 Aorus Pro X includes the sensor panel link feature for enthusiasts who wish to connect a mini-screen internally to the motherboard. This allows users to monitor temperatures, FPS, and various system information separately. When it comes to performance, this is where things get really convincing for this motherboard. It features a very unique 18+1+2 phase VRM setup for all sorts of overclockers out there, and I can confidently say that this board can push the 13600KF to its limit without breaking a sweat. Thankfully, those large VRM heatsinks should keep things nice and cool even when other higher-end processors are being overclocked. The port and slot selection is also excellent. You get 3 PCIe slots, the topmost slot is a PCIe 5.0, while the other 2 are PCIe 4.0. Additionally, with 5 M2 slots, you'll never face storage issues. The first M2 slot closest to the CPU supports PCIe 5.0, catering to fast storage speed enthusiasts, while the remaining M2 slots operate at PCIe 4.0 speeds. On the rear, you get 2 USB-C 3.2 Gen 2 ports, one of which is a USB Type-C hybrid display port. You also get 2 USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-A ports, enabling blazing fast file transfers. Other than that, there are 4 USB 3.2 Gen 1 ports and 2 USB 2.0 ports. You also get 5.0 Gigabit Ethernet and Wi-Fi 7. In terms of competition, the MSI Pro Z790A Max Wi-Fi and the ASUS TUF Gaming Z790 Plus Wi-Fi primarily compete with the Aorus Pro X based on price. The overall aesthetic and beefier VRM performance of the Aorus Pro X, along with unique features like the Easy Latch M2 slots, overshadow both offerings from MSI and ASUS, making it the best out of the bunch. Lastly, the Aorus Pro X series has been exclusive to a few AMD chipsets only. This marks its debut in Intel's lineup, with no predecessor models for this motherboard. All in all, if you really want a motherboard that can stand out with its unique aesthetics, excellent performance, and intuitive features that are genuinely useful and free of gimmicks, the Gigabyte Z790 Aorus Pro X is everything you need, if you can afford it. Ratings: VRM design, 9 out of 10. Connectivity, 9 out of 10. Aesthetics, 9 out of 10. Features, 9 out of 10. Value for money, 7.5 out of 10 for an overall rating of 8.5 out of 10. Number 1. ASUS ROG Strix B760A Gaming Wi-Fi. Our top choice. ASUS's ROG Strix lineup is a step above your usual budget options, but it also manages to be less expensive than some more enthusiast-focused options. The ROG Strix B760A walks the fine line of price and performance perfectly, and it doesn't compromise on features either. It's the sweet spot for people who are building a mid-range or high-end system. Surprisingly, it's enough for the enthusiasts as well. The older model, the B660A Gaming Wi-Fi, had a 13-phase VRM design. The B760A version upgrades this to a 12 plus 1 plus 1 phase setup, making it a better option in terms of performance. It also comes with the latest BIOS, which is ideal for the new 13th and 14th gen Intel CPUs. In terms of design, this model features the classic ROG Strix aesthetic we're all familiar with. ASUS seems to be following the saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The rear panel cover is the star of the show here, with aggressive ROG and Strix badging along with a substantial ARGB ASUS Strix I logo. Aside from this, there isn't much RGB lighting on this model. Additionally, the dark-colored PCB enhances the overall aesthetic, creating a contrast that would look great in a sleek and understated gaming rig. However, we don't see any large M2 covers or heatsinks, since this motherboard is not geared towards extreme enthusiasts seeking the ultimate in design. Nonetheless, it still features decent silver matte VRM and M2 heatsinks that add to the overall aesthetic appeal of this motherboard. As for the special features, the Strix B760A Gaming Wi-Fi comes equipped with a handful of handy features, such as the PCIe Q release, M2 Q latch, and 4 onboard debugging LEDs to identify problems with your CPU, memory, graphics card, or boot device. When it comes to performance, this board is more than sufficient to run the 13600KF with ease, thanks to its 14-phase VRM, each rated to handle up to 60 amps. It's safe to say that this board can handle almost all Raptor Lake CPUs without breaking a sweat. However, for the enthusiasts, memory overclocking isn't the best on this motherboard, and higher-end Z790 boards fare better. Nevertheless, for this price, RAM performance is still decent. Finally, let's talk about connectivity and ports. You get 3 M2 slots, 4 SATA ports, Wi-Fi 6E, and 2.5 gigabit Ethernet, along with Bluetooth. On top of that, you get your usual array of USB 2.0, 3.0, and 3.2 Type-A ports. The real kicker is that you also get one USB 3.2 Gen Type-C port with 20 gigabits per second transfer rates, and another Type-C port with a transfer rate of 5 gigabits per second, allowing for ultra-fast file transfers. The competition for this motherboard is tough. The Gigabyte B760 Aorus Elite AX comes close, and it's priced a bit lower. However, while it has a similar set of features and a great design, it lacks the 20 gigabits per second USB port that's present on the Strix. All in all, this motherboard nails it on many fronts. It's competitively priced for a fully loaded B760 board and ticks off all the essential features. It's a smart buy no matter which CPU you pair it with. Ratings: VRM design, 9 out of 10. Connectivity, 9 out of 10. Aesthetics, 9 out of 10. Features, 8.5 out of 10. Value for money, 8.5 out of 10. For an overall rating of 9 out of 10. So what do you think? Which of these is the best motherboard for you? Or do you think another motherboard is better for the i5 13600KF? Tell us in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Have an awesome day.